very warm welcome to Daily Dispatch, a show that gives you all the latest news and updates from the startup ecosystem. I'm Priya Sheth, it's 5 pm, and thank you so much for logging in. Do remember that we're a one-stop shop for all the news in the digital ecosystem. First up, let's have a look at the top news headlines that we've been tracking this evening. Hyperlocal delivery platform Dunzo has raised $40 million from a clutch of investors including Google as well as Lightbox. Amid this pandemic, Dunzo saw a GMV growth of 2x over the past year and has seen an annualized GMV of about $100 million at present. Well, moving on to the second headline of the day, agri-tech platform Dehat has raised $30 million in a funding round led by Process Ventures. Existing investors also participated in this fundraise. Dehat plans to use these funds to strengthen its network, expand its overall technology operations, as well as add more value-added services for farmers. Well, homegrown instant messaging app Hike, backed by SoftBank, has shut down its instant messaging platform StickerChat. This comes at a time when millions of users are migrating to apps like Signal as well as Telegram amid WhatsApp's privacy concerns. Well, moving on to the final headline of the day, real estate services firm Anurag has acquired prop tech company Apna Complex from Nestaway Technologies in an all-cash deal. Do remember that Apna Complex serves more than 600,000 households across 80 Indian cities.
Well, moving on to the next segment, we have with us a very special guest, somebody who's been leading the flower and gifting segment online. I have with me the CEO of Ferns N Petals, Mr. Pawan Gadia. Thank you very much for joining us on the Daily Dispatch, Mr. Gadia. I want to talk to you about the last couple of months. They've been challenging for almost every player in the digital economy. I wanted to understand from your front, the first 6 months of the lockdown, revenues were completely wiped out for most players. For you, how has the experience been since then, and has there been a road to recovery since then?
So, Priya, our Ferns N Petals is more of a gifting brand than of a flower brand today. So, 40% of our top line, for example, comes from cakes delivery, followed by flowers, plants, chocolates, and other gift items. In India, where April and May lockdown, of course, crippled us. So, but then we came up with a unique proposition of digital gifting, wherein Priya wanting to send some kind of gift to Pawan, all you need to do is go to Ferns N Petals and book a guitarist who can play a song to my liking. So the guitarist will connect you on a WhatsApp call and connect me on a WhatsApp call and play the song to my choice. So that brought in a lot of happiness and we were able to encash. So basically, though in terms of volume and top line, it did not contribute to anything, but then these are little bit of innovations which helped us to sustain. Having said this, in India, in the first quarter, April, May, June, we were almost down to maybe 15% compared to last year. However, we are present in two other geographies, which is UAE and Singapore. UAE and Singapore, despite being in lockdown, we were issued licenses being an e-commerce company. And there we were able to grow, UAE, we were able to grow somewhere around 200% because of the local lockdown. E-commerce was able to deliver. And similarly in Singapore, we were able to grow more than by 120%. So all put together, the first quarter, we did not really do less than last year. Thereafter, the second and the third quarter, ending December, we have been able to grow India as well somewhere around 50-55% compared to last year. So this has been a humongous growth to us. So in other ways, if I can say this, because of Corona, the consumer purchasing behavior which has changed, we have grown a lot compared to last year, and the growth has only accelerated in these last two quarters.
So within India specifically, are there specific categories that have been seeing an exponential growth as compared with last year?
So I would say everything is growing at around 35-40% odd. However, our personalized gift as a segment, chocolates as a segment, cakes as a segment is growing exponentially. So personalized gift, for example, is growing at somewhere around 200% compared from last year. So here we have introduced a lot of newer products, and similarly in terms of cakes, followed, of course, flowers is trailing behind.
You also have a physical presence of stores in many parts of the country. I wanted to understand what is the roadmap for that business, considering that most orders are happening online. Do you plan to stay at this number, do some recalibration as far as your physical stores are concerned?
So we are currently 250 flower shops and another 100 cake shops, all put together 350 odd stores in approximately 120 countries across India. The growth plan for flowers and cakes remain the same because even if we get orders online, we are able to provide a break-even number of orders or break-even number of sales to all our retail outlets. And the more the outlet, the faster the delivery, the hyper local becomes much more in our control. And of course, being under the brand and the various SOPs which are followed at the retail level, we are able to ensure the quality and the service to the customer. We will
What is
continue
the
to.
expansion roadmap, if I may ask?
So cakes we are adding somewhere around 6 to 8 shops a month, and in flowers we are adding somewhere around 2 to 3 shops a month. So now the expansion is happening mostly in tier 2, 3, and to some extent we are also going to tier 4.
So when you talk about international expansion, I understand that you're looking at adding one country a month. Is that the target that you're still working with?
Absolutely. So when we say one country a month, what we mean is that we want to open a website which is available one every month. We launch a country specific website. We build the catalog for it and continue start doing the marketing. The moment we arrive at a critical mass, therein we put boots on ground. So for this calendar year 2021, we plan to put boots on ground to at least 4 countries: Saudi, Qatar, Malaysia, Indonesia. So these are 4 countries where we'll be present in physical with our own team and services there.
You're looking at this large scale expansion. Of course, investment is very important at this point in time, which comes with expansion. So, what is your investment plan? Are you looking at some sort of funding to really help bolster the business to its next level?
If I may call it, the Ferns and Petals way of doing business, wherein we are very prudent in terms of whatever money which we spend in our expansion and our growth is mostly through internal cash approvals. But now that there's a very different opportunity available not only in India but abroad. So here we want to accelerate and reach the goals maybe 2 or 3 years earlier than what it had been projected. So this is where we would be raising funds, and we are started on the journey of looking at various options of raising fund, and that is already on.
So, are you looking at mostly private equity funding, or are you also looking at going public? Because I do understand that an IPO route was something that you all were discussing even 1 year ago.
Yeah, so that looks much more attractive, but going IPO is again a huge challenge for a company which has not raised funds so far. So the entire compliances and everything has been now on the verge of starting, which is going to be commensurate to what is required at the IPO level to service requirement. So I think that's a bit far away. But yes, all I can say is that we are conscious of the fact that if we want to grow much faster than what we do today, we need a lot more funds than what internal accruals can provide us.
So, is there a target as to how much funds are you looking at raising?
Not really. That is still on the drawing board stage. I think that will be clearer more by March. Is that what would be needing?
You're also looking at a larger scale expansion across different segments. I do understand that FMCG is one category that you all have been looking at tapping into. How serious are you in the FMCG foray?
I would not say that more it would be FMCG. We would be more in terms of gifting. Yeah. And when it comes to gifting, I've already named the various categories. Chocolates can be one of the additional activity which we are wanting to do in terms of cakes, muffin, cookies, dry cakes. These are some activities where we would, some products where we would want to go in. We would want to also get in strongly in experience gifting. We would want to have subscription of flowers and plants as a service. We are targeting a B2B segment in a very large way, wherein we want to be present in terms of the de facto gifting option for all the corporates. We also want to be customers to all the loyalty card redemption companies. We are also looking towards expanding our offering for abroad, India to abroad, anywhere in the world. We want to provide a same day service the way we do it in India. And the category there, we want to expand to not just 4, but maybe around 8 to 10 categories.
Before I let you go, I want to ask you one final question on revenues. 336 crore rupees was the kind of revenue that you closed last financial year with. So what is the target for 2022-23? And in terms of profitability, where do you stand?
Well, I wouldn't want to hazard that far a guess, but I would say that for as far as 21-22 goes, we would be targeting somewhere around 750 odd crores in terms of GMV. And bottom line is something I think this time is going to tell. but we are definitely going to be profitable, is what I can share with you, Priya.
And we at Your Story TV wish you the very best going forward, and we will keep a close eye on how you'll plan your business strategies going forward. With that, thank you very much, Mr. Gadia, for joining us for this interview for Daily Dispatch.
Well, time to wrap up this very special edition of Daily Dispatch. Thank you so much for logging in. I'm going to see you tomorrow at the same time, 5 p.m. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Goodbye and see you tomorrow.